coffee for about another 90 seconds or so.
I got it. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, good morning. I'm going to hold this down until... Oh. Aha. Yeah, I'm going to hold this down until Chris gets back. And as far as the hot mic is concerned, I don't know if you could tell, but nothing went the way it was supposed to go. So if there was a hot mic where you were hearing system hum instead of us, saying something smart-assy to each other, then it just didn't work as intended, according to plan. So anyhow, good morning. It is Christmas Eve, and Merry. Oh, I think we're about to have a Lowry. I think it's about to happen. I think I'm about to get booted out of first chair.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Wait, did I spell the title wrong?
I don't know.
What have I done?
I don't know.
Good morning. I'm going to go look.
Good morning.
See what the hell Patrick's talking about. So, Merry Christmas.
Right.
Oh, I've got an extra S. Nope, just fat fingers, my brother. Whoops.
And you used addition instead of edition.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Yeah, early morning.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, nice looking out there, guys. So, God, what do we want to start with? I got a couple of goodies.
Are we gonna jump straight into the DGUs, or are we gonna do?
This isn't exactly a DGU, but I definitely want to share this. If y'all haven't seen this on the YouTubes or the Facebooks yet, this one is solid. So these guys were caught on a ring camera trying to break into the house. Everybody watching?
Oh!
Yep. Did you catch it?
No. I was reading the chat, so...
Watch closely.
Oh!
He shot himself in the leg?
Himself in the leg. that gets us solid. Better luck next time. Go back to the range, son. Oh.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, obviously what happened there is he had the weapon in his pocket, ready to rock, safety off. Whoops!
I've carried a gun in my pocket with the safety off, and I have never, ever, ever, ever even come close to shooting myself in the leg.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, there's not a safety on my daily carry.
I say that with
it's a revolver.
I say with the safety off, but I mean, this is my safety. Right here. In fact, this position, that trigger discipline. I'm thinking about my pistol, and this is what my finger does.
Yep.
That is trigger discipline. This is, yes. And, yeah, keep the booger hook off the bang button. Right. So, do we want to touch on the thing with Kim Potter?
Yeah. I'll let you get the downer in there. So Kim Potter was convicted yesterday on both charges. And the recent court cases in this country have taught us that in this country, the anti-racism narrative has turned into the canonization of black people. Basically, if you have a criminal who happens to be black and you defend yourself against them, cop or not, if a black man decides that he wants to kill you, the law demands that you let him do so. That's what we learned from the McMichaels. That's what we learned in the Floyd case. That's what we've just had reaffirmed by this case with Kim Potter.
Kim Potter.
That the only factor that matters in these cases is the color of the assailant.
Well, no, and the color of the shooter.
You think if Kim was black, she'd have gotten off on this one?
Maybe.
I don't know. I think cop trumps black on the, or rather, black trumps cop on the victim scale.
I guess the thing that,
because let's be clear about something. The prosecution and the defense both stipulated that there was a mistake, that she had no intent to cause the death of this man, that at worst it was accidental. Now, under the circumstances, we're talking about a known criminal on a warrant for armed robbery.
Well, weapons. I checked it this morning. It's a weapons-related, a weapons-related warrant. So it could be armed robbery. It could not. But it is a weapons-related warranty.
So, but violent history, and he's resisting fighting a female cop. And we can have a whole conversation about female cops, but on the face of it, the mistake she made was saying that she meant to go for her taser. Because it looks very much like it was a clean shoot. Violent bad guy with weapons priors, known, resisting. And let's not pretend like the fact that the cop's a little girl and not a big strong man shouldn't be a factor in her use of deadly force in the defense of her life and safety. Men and women are not the same. So
you noticed?
Pretty little girl with a badge, big, strong, violent criminal man with a weapons history, resisting. It was a clean shoot. Now, if she meant to go for the taser and made a mistake, then the message you're sending with this verdict is your mistakes your errors are punishable by up to and including death.
So Steve says this is not a clean shoot. This was a control issue, which called for the taser. I don't know, because apparently, okay, this particular police precinct, this might have been a clean shoot. In fact, the her commanding officer resigned in protest, because and it's different from police department to police department, but it's entirely possible that lethal force would have been justified in this circumstance per department regulations. So it really seems like the big mistake that she made was saying, "Oh, I made a whoopsie." She'd actually been better off if she'd have been like, "No, I meant to draw my gun." Like, she instead said, "I'm trying to draw my taser." And drew her gun by mistake. And I think if you've watched the body cam footage and you've watched any of the stuff that came out at trial, and you watched, like, her testimony, she comes across as pretty genuine. She wasn't trying to kill anybody that day. She wasn't trying to shoot anybody that day. She was trying to tase somebody. And as our buddies at Polytech pointed out, to a certain extent, this is what she was trained to do. She was trained to go for the taser, like, immediately, the way that she did. And she just grabbed the wrong thing. What I have a real problem with, okay, is the weapons charge itself. Did the guy deserve to die that day? No, probably not, okay? Is this awful and tragic and terrible and all of those things? Yes, it is. But the lionization, like, there are statues of George Floyd.
Right.
Okay? You could completely think George Floyd didn't deserve to die. And also understand
but
why...
the St. Floyd of fentanyl treatment, the canonization of monsters is unacceptable. And that was absolutely a factor here.
Yes. Yeah, so anyhow, Steve is still pushing back. He says, watch the badge cam. It was an accident. You're wrong on this. It isn't murder. I'm not saying that I know for a fact one way or another which one of these it would be. But I have heard legal analysis that said that this is actually going to result in police officers going to their gun more often and on purpose, as opposed to using the intermediary step of the taser or pepper spray or whatever. Because with this being an accident, as it were, that's the thing that has her in jail, basically. And potentially, and apparently the district attorney's even asking for, like, elevated sentencing for her. Like, somebody in her position would normally do somewhere around 7 years, and the district attorney's going to ask for even more because what she did was just so egregious, as though somehow Dante Wright would be any more dead. I'm just saying that I say all that to say I know that her commanding officer did resign in protest, and that there are people like Viva La Fry that have read the policy that have concluded that her going for her gun immediately would have been justified per their department regulations. So that's
and so I'm not sure about the language in under Minnesota State, but what she has been charged with, what she's been convicted of, is first and second degree manslaughter. So, Steve, what you're saying there, it was an accident. You're wrong on this. It isn't murder, but it was not a clean shoot. Okay, let's say I agree with you on the clean shoot analysis. I'm not sure that I do, but it isn't murder. But first and second degree manslaughter, that sounds like basically murder. Sounds like that's what she's being convicted of. So that's kind of where we're landing on that.
And Alex from Polytech points out they're giving her an enhancement for being a cop because apparently She should know better. Never mind that force is their default training.
Right.
And I actually think that Alex brings up a hell of a good point there. And I think that's part of why her commanding officer resigned. This is how they were trained to handle this situation. Now, they weren't trained to shoot an unarmed man and kill him, obviously. But they were trained to respond to this man with a certain amount of force. And she was attempting to follow that training and use a certain amount of force to restrain and arrest this man. Okay? And whether or not you think that force was warranted because he had the weapons charged, that's a different discussion. What did happen is she was attempting to follow her training. And now she's going to go to prison for a decade. And how long before there's mass walk-offs? And
I don't know.
And over what?
You know what? Here's my prediction. We will not see any mass walk-offs because all the cops that were worthy of being police officers have already quit.
I
think the blue flu has probably already claimed all the cops that we ever wanted to wear badges. Now,
that's a perfectly terrifying thought.
I agree.
That is
now. Here's where I come down on this. I think the correct outcome here should have been that she was found guilty of being bad at being a cop. Right? Let's just go ahead and give her the made a mistake thing. It's a pretty substantial mistake. But just like Cameron, just like what you're saying, within the confines of her training and the expectations there, she committed an egregious error. The correct outcome is she's never a cop again. That should be the end of this. So I think we could put a pin in that one there. I didn't want to spend the whole show talking about her. And we haven't. We spent about 10 minutes on it after a few minutes of some fun. So let's have a little fun.
Ding dongy dong, ding dongy dong.
So I've got some DGUs, but before we get to them, I just want to show you this because it made me happy. Merry Christmas and that would be the wrong button. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And it's Santa with a gun protecting baby Jesus from a knife-wielding terrorist. And this made my day.
What's a John Snyder?
John Snyder is a gun rights and self-defense rights activist, lobbyist in Washington. He's sent out this Christmas card. This was 6 years ago. Well, 8 years ago. Jesus.
Yeah.
This was 2014 that he sent it out. And I stumbled across it this morning looking for stuff like this.
Yeah, Chris, the first Matrix movie came out more than 20 years ago.
I know.
Just Touchstone. Like, Jurassic Park came out almost 30.
Yeah, and, Neo's held up pretty good. Trinity, not so much.
That's a whole separate discussion. I think Carrie Ann Moss is rather attractive for her age. How about that?
And now here's the other one, and I'm going to just go ahead and share the video. The El Paso Sheriff's Office. Do we have audio here? We do not. So the photo posted by the sheriff's Twitter account shows a bearded man in a red suit sitting at a desk. The photo is accompanied by text reading, "Guess who came in to receive his concealed handgun permit today?" The post includes a Santa Claus emoji, doop-a-doop-a-doo, and apparently within 5 hours the tweet received over 550 comments, many arguing the photo was inappropriate. Yeah, anybody arguing the photo was inappropriate? Santa Claus was one of those people for whom rights were defended by me personally. Right? I take the Constitution very seriously, and there are some very complex arguments about how we should understand the rights in the Constitution to apply with regard to citizenship. Because the claim of the Constitution is that the rights which are protected against, which you are protected against the government from the abuse of, right? The First Amendment does not say you have the right to free speech because the government grants it to you. The First Amendment says that assuming, it is assumed, it is given, it is granted, it is immutable fact by divine right that given by your Creator are the rights to the freedom of speech, press, religion, assembly, petition, right? The same thing with the Second Amendment. It is assumed that God has created you with the right to keep and bear arms, right?
Yeah, well, there is something offensive about that picture. The fact that you've got to purchase your rights back to carry a firearm. It's the whole permit thing. Like, oh, okay, cool. We're going to fingerprint you and put you in a special database that the federal government will totally never have access to, we promise.
Right.
And then we're going to charge you a fee just so you can carry your personal property around.
And none of that data is ever going to be associated with the sale and purchase receipts of any firearms that you buy legally through any authorized dealer. No.
Yeah. I mean, it's buying your rights back. Like, it's a whole separate thing. People, oh, are you okay with psychopaths having guns? Well, no, obviously not. Neither would the founders. There's a line on everything. Okay, but the fact that.
Well, no, actually.
No, well, hold on. Okay, the fact that the federal government in particular can just pass a law that says, hey, that Second Amendment thing, nah, screw you.
Yeah, screw you.
No. Anything with regard to we need a national background check. You don't understand how our Constitution works. And besides, we already have background checks. Oh, I don't want to go down any of those rabbit holes because
background checks are offensive to liberty and justice.
Well, the gun show loophole doesn't exist. It's already illegal to commit a straw purchase. And it shouldn't be. I should be able to go to a gun show and buy you a gun if I want to buy you a gun.
Right, and murder with a knife is no less murder than murder with a gun.
Anyhow.
Murder's already a crime.
Anyhow.
Assholes.
Can actually get to some DGUs here. It might happen.
All right, let's talk about State Senator Kimberly Lightford's husband exchanged gunfire with at least one suspect during a carjacking earlier this week. So this article is actually from yesterday, which was my 14th wedding anniversary, by the way.
Happy anniversary.
Indeed. 14 years happened quickly.
And yet, slowly. It's amazing how time happens that way. When you have kids, and everybody with kids know this, like, boy, the days are long, but the years are short. Like, it is bizarre.
Patrick, that depends on whether or not the hammer is a weapon. So I would say that a piked warhammer, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. State Senator Kimberly Lightford's husband had a gun and exchanged shots with at least one of the suspects when a couple was carjacked earlier this week in suburban Broadview, authorities disclosed on Thursday. Lightford, the Senate Majority Leader and second highest ranking senator in the General Assembly, was in a vehicle with her husband, Eric McKinney, when they were carjacked at 9:45 Tuesday. The couple was in the near west suburb to drop off a friend, police have said.
You gonna make it?
That sentence almost defeated me. Like it was my kryptonite. At some point
a worthy foe sentence. A worthy foe.
At some point after Lightford and McKinney were ordered out of their black Mercedes SUV, there was an exchange of gunfire between McKinney and at least one of the carjackers, Broadview Police Chief Thomas Mills said Thursday. Mills said that McKinney is a concealed license holder. I mean, good for him, but that shouldn't matter. No one was hurt during the incident, which occurred in the 2000 block of South 20th Avenue. The suspects, who were masked, drove away in the Mercedes and a Dodge Durango SUV. Yeah, wait a minute. They exchanged gunfire after they were out of the car. Oh, no, BRM it. Like,
and nobody was hurt.
No.
Oh, I see what happened. My big fat finger hit 2 buttons. It was just supposed to be that one.
So, yeah, like, and honestly, okay, I don't mind pointing out, okay, at a certain point, the bad guy has won this round.
Yes.
And if you're exchanging gunfire after they're driving away in the car they have stolen from you...
You're not exchanging gunfire at that. Well, maybe.
I mean, you're technically...
There could be somebody leaning out the window, returning fire.
Yeah, but at that point, like, the bad guy wins. It sucks. It sucks a lot.
Yep.
But the bad guy wins. You know? I don't know. I'd like to know the rest of the...
I would like to hear some more details, but I think...
I would like to... Oh, well, there's more details. This is what...
Real quick, just for Patrick's comment there, says, I think a group of dudes walking around with claymores, battle axes, and warhammers would be fun. I, too, have been to Nero and the occasional Renaissance festival. I concur.
Yeah, you know, the problem is, man, and unless you're like a U-size, a claymore is just not a practical weapon. And even for a U-sized guy, like, your arms have to get tired at a certain point. Like, claymores... Believe it, despite being swords, most of their damage is crushing damage. Because, wow.
Because a claymore is basically a semi-sharpened 2x4.
Told them to take whatever they want.
And a long one.
Okay. I'm just going to read this part, all right? I begged them not to shoot us, and I begged them not to shoot my husband, not to shoot me, Lightford said, according to WGN TV Channel 9. I told them to take whatever they want. They took everything off me that I had of value, and I offered the car, and my husband slid them the keys. And then after we kind of got the guns off of us, we kind of got the guns off of us? What? They had separated me and my husband, she told reporters, and we got the guns off of us. My husband told me to run. And I ran reluctantly because I don't want to leave him there, and it was scary, and it was a scary run because now shots are being fired. I thought for sure they were going to shoot me. The carjacking occurred about 30 minutes after a Christmas event hosted by Broadview Village officials. Man, this is like Die Hard in an SUV, right?
Right.
Carjackings in the town have been minimal, unless, I guess not. Yeah, there's no more. I'm still trying to understand, like, they get them out of the bad guys have enough sense to get them out of the car, separate them, take everything off of them, but they leave a gun on the husband? Like,
Steve said, I defunded the police. Then I had to beg for my life. No sympathy.
Oh, that's, damn, son.
Wait, is she one of the,
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, she's from Chicago, so I think you could just, like... It's one of those things where, like, you could line up anybody from Chicago, and they would probably be a defund the policer. So, let's... Coming up on time, man. Let's do another one. I'm pretty sure she's a defund the policer. I think actually Alex and Danny talked about her last night, now that I'm really thinking about it.
Pro defund the police State Senator Kimberly Lightfoot says she begged for her life during recent carjacking and says she's been traumatized by the crime. Steve's on it. Steve's on to something there. Save lives, ban Chicago.
Yeah, save a horse, ride a cowboy.
That's a hell of a house. So, naked intruder shot to death after assaulting elderly couple in the home. Police say, well, Merry Christmas. An elderly
This is
man
Florida.
fatally shot a naked intruder who entered his Adams County home and assaulted him and his wife on Wednesday, state police say. Teresa Boca, York Daily Record. State police identified the intruder as 54-year-old Stephen David Schaefer, who was declared dead at the scene. Merry Christmas! DRT. But they did not know him, Lieutenant Mark Magar said during a news conference. The wife suffered critical injuries in the attack, and she was airlifted to York Hospital. The husband was taken by ambulance to the same medical facility. State police are not releasing the names of the victims at this time.
There's other victims?
And I think by victims they're talking about just the man and his wife. Even though he wasn't, even if it was just her that injured, he was still the victim of a break-in.
Right. Shot multiple times with a revolver.
State police received numerous calls Wednesday morning about a man acting erratically in the 800 block of Green Springs Road in Berwick Township near Abbottstown. This does not sound like Florida.
Well, I mean, it kind of sounds like Florida.
Oh, the event sounds like Florida. The location sounds more like Downton Abbey. He was trying to enter an occupied home and banging on cars on the road, forcing traffic to stop. As troopers were responding to the scene, Schaefer went to the home of the married couple in their late 70s, entered the home only wearing a shirt, and began hitting the elderly man with his fists. Okay, so he wasn't completely naked. The husband, no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Apparently he got serviced.
Yes, he did. Or perhaps the phrase we're looking for is ventilated. The husband told his wife to retrieve a gun from the nearby bedroom. As she went to get it, Schaefer followed her. He then assaulted the woman as her husband entered the room. The husband was able to grab the firearm and fired multiple shots at Schaefer. The wife sustained significant injuries in the attack and is in critical condition. Excuse me. So, send thoughts and prayers to the random couple in their 70s in we don't know where. But we got us a DRT here. The bad guy is, well, he's not bad anymore.
Yeah, and
He's all better now.
well, I mean, and according to this story, he's probably not stoned out of his gourd anymore either.
Right?
Like there was drugs involved, and I say stoned, but no.
Yeah, drugs involved. He was either on some meds or off his meds.
Yeah, like I've seen some bizarre shit in my life. Okay, have you ever seen Real Crazy? Like, I've only ever actually seen it once, and it was pretty fucking terrifying.
I've seen it a few times, and yeah, it's something special.
Like, woo, man. So, we're over. We spent too long talking about the Potter thing, man.
We did. Let's do one more, because this one's close. Police say deadly shooting in northwest Atlanta appears to be self-defense.
Look, I'm just gonna real quick say it again. I think the definition of self-defense needs to be expanded. Like, drug dealer A tries to rob drug dealer B, and drug dealer B shoots drug dealer A in self-defense because he's being robbed. Like, I get it. They're drug dealers.
Now, in fairness, if that case were to get it, if the case that you're describing, the hypothetical case that you're describing, were to get into a court, the likely outcome is,
No, that's a felony murder conviction. Especially here in the state of Georgia, that is a felony murder conviction. Because they were committing a crime. I don't agree with it. Look, I'm trying to make a point. I don't agree with it being a felony murder conviction. I think the biggest piece of shit on the planet still has a right to self-defense. Because if rights don't apply to everybody, then
they don't apply to everybody.
They don't apply. So, anyhow, okay. Appears to be a case of self-defense. Not trying to rabbit hole us. All right.
Hey, Paul joined us this morning, too. Good morning and Merry Christmas, Paul.
Merry Christmas. Oh, and Merry Christmas to Dave Bowen as well. Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Atlanta police said deadly shooting in northwest Atlanta appears to be a case of self-defense. Investigators said one person is dead following the shooting Monday along Westlake Avenue Northwest. The homeowner is not facing charges at this time. An officer confirmed to Channel 2's Richard Elliott that a resident saw someone in their carport and then shot and killed them. Damn, that's a serious no trespassing sign. I saw you on my carport. Blam! Wow.
Like Tim Pool said, you want to know how I feel about the Second Amendment? I now live on a piece of property in a state with castle doctrine where my yard is big enough that if I could see you, you are on my property.
APD Homicide Unit Commander Ralph Woolfolk said the homeowner went to police headquarters and is cooperating with the investigation. We're still in the early stages of the investigation or trying to ascertain all the details as to what happened. Georgia law is clear when it comes to protecting oneself on one's own property, including inside a carport. Well, okay. Damn. That's something for you to know, kids. Even though a carport looks like it is an open area of a house, Georgia law says no. You are.
Oh yeah, that's still the physically defined structure of the domicile.
Yes. Yeah, but you could see.
Yeah, when that guy stole the empty water jugs out of my garage.
No, I'm tracking. I
totally could have shot him.
No, I'm tracking.
He stole a lot of other stuff, like some armor plating and a couple of ammo cases. But the thing that made me chuckle was when the police recovered my property after I chased him down the street, and among the property items they recovered, apparently the guy stole 2 empty 5-gallon water jugs.
Anyhow, I was just pointing out that when you've got one of those big open carports that you might see in downtown Atlanta, you could see how somebody less intelligent, like a criminal, might not understand that the second they cross that threshold from driveway to carport,
yeah,
they're now in the domicile. Anyhow, and I think
a good rule of thumb. Okay, so this is a DRT, obviously.
I think so.
So we're gonna go ahead and give them that one. All right. And I'm gonna fix something right after the show. I'll fix it right after the show.
So, Merry Christmas, Patriots. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Indeed. And y'all be safe out there. 'Tis the season. Holidays are upon us. It has been cold the last couple of nights. So, watch out for that black ice. Don't drive drink. Don't fry bacon naked. And,
don't tell me how to make my fucking breakfast. Whole show, and there's an F-bomb.
And announce yourself, Announce yourself when you enter the room, because the chimney man might be busy and you don't want to spook him.
All right.
Ho, ho, ho. And y'all be safe out there.